Hi, my name is Elisa and I'm the host of Bright Trips Guide to Berlin. The video you're about to watch is just one part of a whole series you can find on brighttrip.com, where we talk about culture, food, safety, history, the most interesting neighborhoods, and so much more. There's a ton of information over there if you're planning on visiting Berlin. You can find the link in the description box to access the full guide on brighttrip.com, and you can also find the link to access my own personal YouTube channel where I share my experiences living here in Germany. I have been in love with Berlin for 10 years and I hope you fall in love too, so enjoy the video. One of the easiest ways to get around Berlin is by using public transportation. Since 1902, Germany has put a lot of work into making public transportation one of the fastest, most accessible and easiest options to get around. So I highly recommend using Berlin's trains, trams and buses. To get a better grasp on how the public transportation works in Berlin, let's take a look at this map. It can feel a little bit daunting, so let's break it down. If we take away all the lines, we are left with this gray background. These are the different zones. This white center represents Zone A, the gray represents Zone B, and anything beyond that is Zone C. Zone A marks the city center. This is where most of the sightseeing will happen. Here you'll find the Museum Island, the Brandenburg Gate, the Tiergarten, and the German Parliament. Zone B follows the city border, and Zone C is outside the city borders. Zone C is where you'll find the Brandenburg Airport, Sachsenhausen concentration camp, and Potsdam, which is a great day trip outside the city. You can buy tickets for zones AB, BC, or ABC. So before you head out on your trip, you need to know which of these zones you're starting in and where you finish. For example, from Berlin-Brandenburg Airport to Brandenburger Tor, which will take you to the Brandenburg Gate, you want to buy a ticket for zones A, B, C. Now, before we bring back all the lines, there are actually two train or Bahn systems on this map, the U-Bahn and the S-Bahn. Let's look at only the U-Bahn lines really quickly. The U in U-Bahn is for Untergrundbahn, which means underground railway. So this is the equivalent of an underground subway, and it's the most efficient way to get around. There are 9 lines on the U-Bahn, each start with U and are color-coded. It's open from 4 a.m. to 12:30 a.m. as well as all night on Fridays and Saturdays. The second type is the S-Bahn, which is more suburban and is more like a tram. It comes less frequently and has fewer stops. It's used a ton by commuters getting to and from work. The S-Bahn has 16 lines, all starting with S and are coated in different colors too. Hopefully that makes the full map a bit more approachable. The trains and stations are clearly marked with an S or an U, and if you are staying within the city center, you'll likely stick to the U-Bahn on your travels. Each of these are clearly marked on Google Maps with a nice little green S or a blue U. But remember, the same ticket works perfectly fine for both. I'm just showing you this for navigation. Okay, so now that we are a little more comfortable with the map, let's talk about actually riding it. There are 3 ways to get a ticket for Berlin's public transportation. My personal recommendation is using the BVG app. This is the company that operates most of the public transit in Berlin. You just link your credit card and purchase the ticket you need, which can be added to your digital wallet. This is the easiest method and won't require you to validate or keep track of a ticket. The second way is to purchase a ticket at the machines found at the U-Bahn or S-Bahn stations with cash or card. Your ticket will be printed, then you need to validate it. To validate a ticket, place it in this little machine near where you purchase it and get it stamped. This is mandatory and essentially activates your ticket, giving you 2 hours to ride the public transit. The exception to this is if you got a single ticket, which is automatically time-stamped. And lastly, you can buy tickets inside a bus, but I don't recommend this, because you can only use coins and most of the time you need the exact change. But you can do it if you're in a pinch. If you're taking more than 2 trips in one day, you may want to get a day pass, which allows you unlimited trips at a cheaper price than 3 individual tickets. If you're in the city for longer than a couple of days, There are also several other unlimited day pass options, which can save you time and money. And a great benefit to all this is that these tickets apply to any mode of public transportation. So the ticket you buy for the U-Bahn serves you for the S-Bahn and bus as well. Also, just a personal tip, if you're struggling with directions or knowing where to go, don't be afraid to ask people for help. And one last note, as I mentioned, the hours of the train system are pretty extensive. Although if you are out late on a weekday, after the trains have stopped, you can always catch a night bus of the same name, which follows the subway route. The great thing about Berlin is that the S-Bahn, U-Bahn and buses all work together. So if you go to a train station, they can give you a map of the tube, tram and bus. Or you can visit the S-Bahn website to help plan your journey. If you click on a station marked, it will tell you if it's an S-Bahn, U-Bahn station and which buses stop there. So hopefully now you've got a sense of Berlin's transit system and how to use it. It's quiet, clean and easy to use, so join the majority of city and hop on a bus with us.